The Blast from Our Past Network.
From Sasquatch to Shadow People, it's time for Paranormal After Dark, where your hosts, Zak and Corey, discuss all things paranormal. Say a prayer and lock your windows and enjoy Paranormal After Dark.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a bonus episode of Podcasting After Dark. It's also a crossover episode with Hey Boo, a witches podcast.
What?
And I'm here sitting in, it's my bedroom when I stay at the Schaefer's. But it's their, den. It's their...
Our Zen Den.
It's their Zen Den. It's also where Zach records and everything. So I am here with the Schaefer's. I got Zach, Kristen, and Bodhi.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
And I think, so Zach and I were recording, I think it was the Howling episode. Yes. And we kind of discovered that we both had we had paranormal experiences and stuff in life. And we were like, hey, you know what? We should kind of talk about that. Because I think we all kind of like that stuff anyways. But we're a movie podcast. But yeah, let's do a little bonus episode and talk about maybe some of our paranormal experiences we've had.
Yeah, I dropped this one little story when we were recording. And I don't think you've heard it before, Bodhi. I don't think you've heard it before, French.
Wow, a story I haven't heard from you in our 16 years of being together?
Yes, as of yesterday. And then
I was just about to reach and grab the hair off of his face, too. Zach's like, I'm just trying to talk here, guys.
No,
and Kristen and I are literally grooming him.
It's kind of distracting.
It's not the first time we've been groomed, or the last.
It was a Fozzie hair.
Yeah. So, I dropped this story in, and then Corey's like, yeah, we should do a whole episode on this, because I blew your mind, too. You're like, in the 10 plus years I've known you, I've never heard this as well.
Exactly. And I know Kristen's got some stories, and Bodhi's got some stories, so I figured, we all like the paranormal, and it's kind of obviously adjacent to movies and stuff. And whatnot. But, I figured we go around and maybe just tell one of our stories and maybe, save more for later. If people like this, we come back around, do it again. Maybe it's an annual thing, but... Are
you going to share the story that...
Yeah, let's start with Zach. Zach, let's tell us the story, your paranormal story.
All right, my paranormal story was... Well, should I tell the Taos story? I guess.
Yeah, whichever one you want to. Yeah, go for it.
So, apparently in Taos, New Mexico, there's this sacred blue mountain. That's a fact. And the access to that mountain is strictly for the people that live near the mountain, the indigenous people that live in Taos. And they have seen, on occasion, this creature that they say is like a bear, like a monkey, walking around upright like a human. And it's not a bear, it's not a monkey.
Is it a Sasquatch?
Well, they don't call it that, but it's pretty darn close, I think, to what a Sasquatch... Yeah, legit. And they're not joking. They're not messing with you. All I know is I heard about this all the time. Anyways, I was able to go to that sacred blue mountain to get... because of the tribal council allowed me to go there, and tribal...
How old were you in this?
28 or 29.
Okay.
Anyways, I went with my friend Black Hill. And we went on a trail, and like I said, it's access only to the people that live there unless you get special permission. And I'm out there, and I'm drinking from their sacred water, the water from the mountain. And I've never tasted water like this in my entire life. It tasted not like water. It tasted like better than that, right?
Gatorade.
It tasted like Gatorade, yeah. Anyways,
Gatorade.
I saw a tree branch moving, and sometimes you see a tree branch moving, you're walking around and you're like, oh, that's the tree growing.
Or the wind.
But if
I don't think my first thought goes, that's the tree growing.
Yeah.
Well, there's no wind.
Or like an animal.
And I saw it moving.
Yeah.
Or an animal walked by. And I swear there was something that rustled by that in the distance. I didn't see what it was exactly, but I just definitely saw a shadow.
And this is when also like all the sound kind of dropped out, right? Like you had the Oz effect, I think you were saying.
Literally the sound dropped down and I didn't hear anything.
Why is it called the Oz effect?
I think it comes from like the Wizard of Oz, but this is what kind of brought this whole topic up was when Zach and I were watching The Howling. There's a scene like in the third act of The Howling where I forgot her name, Terry's running through the woods, and all of a sudden all the sound drops out, and like all she can hear is someone whisper her name. But aside from like the whispering name part, that sound dropping out is something that happens pretty frequently with Sasquatch encounters and stuff like that. And it's when
or if you're scared, right?
It's when you realize even like the insects have gone quiet. Like everything goes quiet. So I mentioned that. I was like, oh, that's something that happens in a lot of time in paranormal events. And Zach mentioned that, like, oh, that happened to me in Taos, New Mexico. And I didn't want you to miss that fact because it might sound innocuous. It might sound like nothing, but it's actually a pretty common cohesive like thing that happens to a lot of people. So when you saw that branch moving, was that when all the sound dropped out at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when it did. Yeah. And I saw some sort of weird shadow in the distance.
And when the sound came back, did it like build up or did it kind of just rush back?
Well, the sound, so I forgot to mention too that I was right by a stream.
Okay.
When the sound went out.
Where was Black Hill?
He was near me. He was down by the water.
Did he experience it?
Well, I just said, did you see that or hear that? And he goes, oh yeah, we get that all the time.
Interesting.
And you don't think it could have been another person?
No, there was no one else on this trail. And I didn't hear anything. And I definitely saw deer on the trail later that day, but it was not the thing that I saw. And the sound was, when I saw the deer, there was sound. And you could hear the babbling brook, like I heard the sounds after this happened.
And, people talk about the fact that, like, like when there's a bear nearby or something, the sound doesn't, like, drop out. Like, insects don't stop. Like, yes, when an alpha predator goes through an area, a lot of times squirrels will stop moving and stuff, but insects don't care. That stuff doesn't matter. But, like, Sasquatch encounters have been reported, and also they're reported in New Mexico. They're reported all over the country, all over the world, actually. And almost every single continent has names and different stuff for them. And, people are like, oh, well, Bigfoot didn't exist until the, Patterson-Gimlin film came around. It's like, no, they did. You just have to go back and read news reports. They just don't call them cohesively Bigfoot. Like, that's what we call them now, Sasquatch, Bigfoot. Right. But you go back and read, like, something from, like, the 1930s in Mississippi, they call them, like, the Mud Monster, like, or whatever, the Moss Man. It's like, they had all these different names. We didn't have this coherent Bigfoot Sasquatch name. And then all of the indigenous tribes, most of them, all over America, have legends about them and stuff like that. So I absolutely believe that you probably had a brush with, a Sasquatch type creature.
This is one of the few places in the United States where access is not open to everybody.
Right.
So that would make more sense of something that doesn't want to be seen.
Yeah.
There.
They would be hiding there probably.
Now, I do want to throw this out. Bodhi, do you believe in Sasquatch?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts about what Sasquatch could be? Do you think it is just a biological, tracked, ape, or do you think there's anything more to it?
I feel like it would not be such of an ape. It would be more humanoid than ape-like, because I feel like how is it getting around this world just being like a ape running around?
And have we not found it? How have we not found any bodies? How have we not found scat? Like there are traces of their especially with a creature that big, your caloric intake would have to be pretty massive. But yet, they are also reported in outside in suburban areas too, where there's like only small patches of trees. They're still reported there. So I am of the belief that I think there's a bit more of nature spirit to them than it is fully like a biological creature. I think when it comes here, it is a physical creature, but I also think it's also not. Do you know what I mean?
I had this envision of a Sasquatch just eating berries by the brook.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be awesome? Now, Kristen, do you believe in Sasquatch?
I don't have enough information.
Cool, okay.
I mean, obviously, if people are having sightings and there have been descriptions that are similar, then there's no denying that maybe there's an entity that looks that way and that it's not like it maybe they're not as populated as they were before. I don't know. I don't rule anything out until I have enough information to deduce, but I don't have a ton of backstory on them other than just the folklore, I think, that comes with it.
Yeah.
But tell us about your, like, what makes you, I guess, a believer in Sasquatch, aside from wanting to smell like one.
I have my Sasquatch deodorant.
Wow.
I know. Well, I mean, first off, I love anything that keeps the world enchanted and weird, and I think, reality is too hard, too sharp edged, and I want to keep things a bit more strange. I always thought they were interesting growing up, but at this point, I listen to one of the podcasts I listen to every week is Sasquatch Chronicles. Dude's been doing it for like 15 years, and every single weekly episode is a different story, and from people's encounters. And how he could not have paid all these, like, they can't be actors. They're so different. Some of the stories are just as simple as Zak's, where it's just like a solid movement, And I feel like if you were going to make something up, you would make it up to be much more elaborate and everything. So at this point, I've listened to like thousands upon thousands of stories, and maybe, what if 10% of them are lies, What do you do with the next 90? So that kind of, But that also kind of just reinforced my belief to begin with, which I believed that they were there. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm going to blow your mind. I think that I'm sure there's some perspective on this, but I think we're all at different levels and states of consciousness, that maybe there are people who have a state of consciousness that Sasquatches actually exist. And it's just kind of like your belief system. You're going to create or see whatever you truly believe is in your realm.
And what if it's also co-creation? What if it's just putting on that form because that's what we think it should look like,
Sure.
and that's what it does when it appears in when it comes into the world. Now, it literally could just be an ape in the woods that we haven't found, but I think there's too much happening that's just too weird for that to happen.
And also too, for this thing to be seen in the Taos Mountain that has been seen for decades upon decades. If it's one creature, you can't procreate.
Yeah, it needs a breeding population.
Yeah, and it's not going to live forever.
Yeah.
So I fully believe like that there are things that we cannot explain and see that are really there. It's not just our imagination playing with us. Definitely for me. Some people have said, "Oh, you drank that water and then you saw it." I'm like, yeah, but that water is pure water. It's unfiltered mountain water.
Well, going back to the population thing, there has to be more than one because we've seen it all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, they're in Australia. They have different names for them, like everywhere. I was gonna let Bodhi go next, but I think I have a story that kind of pertains to this. So when my buddy Alex and I were driving through Mississippi, we drove from Maryland down to Houston, Texas in one go. That's like a 19-hour shot because I had to help him move from Houston back to Maryland. So we drove through, and by the time we hit Mississippi, it was like midnight or something, It was dark out, and we still had, we didn't stop. We kept going. And we're driving through just on the highway, middle of nowhere. I can't remember like exactly where. If I could figure that out, I'd let everyone know. And no one's on the road. Nothing's out there. It's pitch black. It's not one of those where it's a highway, obviously, but it's not with lights overhead and stuff like that. So it's pretty dark. And as we're driving down, completely stone cold sober, we start coming up to see something on the left shoulder, And here's the thing. It was like in a median strip. So it's like, there was something in between the two sides of the road. So even if it's on the left shoulder, it's not a whole lane over. It's like right next to us. So we're like, okay, cool. Like, what is that? And I was like, oh, it must be like a coyote or something like that. Like eating like something, like a dead roadkill, basically. It's what we assumed, And so as we're coming up to it, we start seeing that it's like, it doesn't look like a coyote. It's not also not huge either, and it's kind of like emaciated on all fours. And when it looked up at us, we both screamed at the same time. It has a human face, and we flew past it. And the whole time we were like, "Oh my god!" We kept telling each other it was a werewolf in mid transformation. That's why we were jokingly, saying about it.
Dang.
But it was weird looking, and it, and to this day, I was like, okay, I used to think like maybe. I figured it was a coyote with mange, right? That's what it could have been. That's what it might have been. But I keep coming back to the fact that we both screamed it has a human face. And I kind of am leaning on the fact that also it could have had mange, but it could have been a Sasquatch with mange on all fours eating something as we sort of went past it. Now, it didn't look like if it stood up, it would be like 10 feet tall. Like it looked like if it stood up, it was probably going to be like maybe 5.5, 6 feet. That's still bigger than a coyote, though, you know? But it also wasn't bulky. It was kind of, like, slenderish, and everything. And I didn't, like, see hands or feet. I locked in on that face. And it was, like, again, a human face on, like, a body that was, like, sort of not human. And it was on all fours, and it was eating something, and...
Did any part of you want to just reverse?
Nope. Every part of us wanted to get the hell out of there, basically. And because we were literally, and all that's around us is like swamps. Like we're like 20 miles in between the next, McDonald's and the next little area, which 20 miles isn't that big deal when you're driving. It's like you'll get there in 15 minutes. But when you really think about it, there was nothing around us, and we literally both screamed at the same time. We said the same thing. It has a human face.
And you didn't want to give him a snack?
No, we wanted to run. When you see something like that in reality, like it's I mean, in my brain too, it kind of is like blocking out pieces of it because I don't think I really want to like remember that.
Keep on driving. Keep on driving. That's good. That's good advice.
Because also too at the time, like I said, I jokingly thought it was more of like a werewolf in mid transformation, but again, after listening to like 1,000, people talking about Sasquatches, one thing that is very prevalent, doesn't come up all the time, but is prevalent that they do this spider walk on all fours. And a lot of times you're like, well, how does a Sasquatch that's 10 feet tall disappear in the woods? Well, because it drops down on all fours and becomes like, and a spider walk, it goes really close to the ground like this and can move like left and right. It's again been reported. Believe what you want to believe, this is what I believe. And now piecing that together, that's what I believe I saw. Maybe it was a malnourished Sasquatch. Again, it could also be it could have been a coyote with mange. And I've seen animals with mange in books. I've never seen one in real life. So for all I know, I could have been like, that was what it was. But I'd never seen like anything like it shook us to our core when we saw it. And that's the thing, like, if I saw a coyote with mange, I don't think I would have been shaken to my core. I just been like, oh, that's a gross looking coyote. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And the coyote has a distinctive face. It looks like a dog.
Yeah, exactly. Even with mange, you can still see the snout and everything,
Not some human face that looks like Wolford Brimley.
So, Bodhi, what do you think I saw there?
I don't know. It might have been, like, a Sasquatch, but...
Could have been a rake.
Yeah.
Have you heard about those?
What's a rake?
No, wait.
What
is that?
Like emaciated humanoid creatures in the woods that crawl on all fours, but they're like their limbs are very long and
oh yes.
And it people say it's sort of like a creepypasta, but people were sort of reporting them before that. And
creepypasta?
Yeah, that's a term on like Reddit where people will make fake horror stories. Okay. Slender Man was a creepypasta that became very popular. So.
How about a creepy calzone?
Yeah, there you go. Bodhi, do you have any creepy calzones for us?
Yeah.
You do?
Well...
You have a story?
Yeah, I have a very interesting story.
Okay.
When I was a really little kid, I was looking at the stairs that lead up to the loft.
In our house?
Yeah. And I'm on the couch, and I'm like... I look up there and I see this figure, and the first thing I think is like, because I'm like a little kid, and it's like, oh, we have a guest. And then when I get older, I'm like, we didn't have that guest. And it's like, it must have been a ghost.
How old do you think you were?
I don't know, it's like 1 or 2.
Could you see, like, were they, like, all black? Was it, like, a shadow figure? Or did you see, like, details? Like,
I saw details.
Could you see, like what their face looked like?
Yeah.
Like, what ethnicity they were or whatever?
Tell us what you think.
Yeah,
what did you see?
Yeah, it was like a guy. He had like a beard. Yeah.
What color was his beard?
Well, you couldn't. It was like a black and white picture, basically.
Oh, okay.
Did
Interesting.
Did he look like happy or sad or?
He just had like a neutral face. It was
Did you didn't recognize him at all at the time?
No.
Since getting older, do you be like, oh, that was my uncle so and so? Like, do you even remember them from now, or is that person still unfamiliar in your mind?
He's still unfamiliar.
Interesting.
And you haven't seen a picture of this person from our family or anything? Like, it wasn't...
wasn't Grandpa Mike?
I haven't seen a picture. I don't.
You have to show
know.
him a picture and see if it was him.
It's like if it was him, he definitely aged a lot. Like,
the person looked old when you
Yeah.
saw them? Okay.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's interesting. Okay.
And were you scared?
No, I felt like I was I didn't really think of something scary.
Okay, you didn't think
You're
of it
neutral.
as... Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
I wonder if it's the same person because when Bodhi he just started talking, and I remember him pointing in the corner, so kind of in the bottom of our stairs into our living room, and I remember pointing at the corner saying, man, sad man. And I mean, I was a little shocked, but I also was like, well, if he's sad, I'm like, tell him you love him. And he goes, Asu, because he was still learning how to talk. So he's like, Asu. And then Bodhi said, man, crying man. And like, that was it.
Wow.
And you don't remember this, Bodhi, because you were too young at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that happened probably before you saw this?
Yeah, maybe.
Because do you remember if you were able to talk when you saw this?
No, I just remember looking at him.
Wow.
And where were we? Were we downstairs? Where were we?
I don't know. I think you're in the middle floor with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen any other figures since then, or is that the big only one?
I mean, once actually. This was only like I don't know, like around like before maybe like my spring break at school.
Like this year, you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
this year.
Okay.
I was walking up the stairs and I hear my name, like saying Bodhi.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, who is that? And I just bolted upstairs. I was like, I don't know who that is. Like,
And where were we? Were we?
You've had
you're upstairs.
Something
we were
like
already
similar.
upstairs.
Around the same time, I heard a noise in the middle of the night, someone going, hey!
like in your ear, wasn't it? You
Yeah,
said when you're
literally
sleeping.
in my ear.
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah. No, I mean that's another, I think, for paranormal stuff. That's a pretty frequent occurrence. You know, hearing something, hearing your name or whatever.
But nothing to be scared
No.
of.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think like a lot of times paranormal experiences, it's what it pulls off. It feeds off of what you give it. So if you're not scared of it, I don't think it projects fear upon you. But a lot of times, I think the other side, you know, whatever this thing is, you know, that interacts with people. I think sometimes it's like, oh, you people do also seem to want it, and it's like, okay, if you're fearful of it, well, then I'll be more fearful because I want to interact with you, but that seems to be what you want to interact with me as in fear, so
Yeah.
I'm going to be more fearful. But a lot of times people who aren't fearful of it, the other, you know, whatever it is not fearful when it interacts, or it's not scary when it interacts.
Sure.
It's like in Empire Strikes Back, it's the Jedi cave, the cave Luke goes into in Dagobah. It's whatever you bring with you, you know, is whatever you carry in there with you is what it's going to reflect back at you.
Just like Henry in the Minecraft movie when he sees the Enderman and he sees his worst fears coming to fruition.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, I think whatever spirits are around our home are protective. I don't get, I'm not uncomfortable. I'm at ease. My home feels very comforting and homey here. So,
Yeah.
and we've had that verified by, Erin across the hall, her mom is very connected, and she stood at her door, and I remember her saying, wow, there's a lot of generations here in terms of spirits. And she said they're all very protective, very, they just want to make sure that we're okay. And so they're kind of like an orb of love and just
I think
protection.
you see that represented in how healthy all of your plants are in the house. I like my wife has the same. She has a lot of plants in our house too, and I also tell her, I'm like, I think the plants are an example of a happy home, because I don't think they would be thriving in a bad energetic environment.
Right.
So I believe that. And you've been in this apartment for 20 years. So I think also too, a lot of your ancestors, a lot of your energy, it's like, well, they know where to find you. You're here. It's easy to find you. I think a lot of times the people that move a lot,
right,
they can't, they might not be able to, I don't know, they might not be able to find you, but you've been here for so long, you've permeated your energy here. But I think the plants thriving are proof that it's a happy home and the energy is positive here. I
was going to say though too, one of the first readings I ever got in Los Angeles, we sit on top of a hill, so I feel like we're almost like an apex as well of in our neighborhood. And I remember one of the things she asked me was whether I live in a house on a hill, and it didn't register to me.
Or in a van down by the river. Just kidding.
But that she saw where I lived, and so that kind of keeps coming back, that I was drawn to this location. Because prior to living here, I moved every year. I hardly lived in the same spot for more than a year.
That's LA living, me too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I came from the Bay Area, but having been here since 2006 of January 2006, we're anchored here. So yeah, I feel like this is very much like a portal for me in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. Do you have any experiences here, or any ones you haven't talked about on the podcast? Anything new?
I have. The one that's always stayed with me, it scared the cha-cha chicken out of me. It was so jolting, and it was one of my first experiences with the paranormal that made me either realize that I'm very sensitive to it, but I didn't understand, and I still don't really quite understand why I had this particular interaction. It was in the early 2000s. I was living in the Bay Area. A friend of mine who lived in Larkspur, which I've come to find has a lot of juju in that area. I don't know.
Where is that geographically?
Kind of north of San Francisco, sort of a very quiet, sleepy harbor town. And this friend of mine was living in a cottage. I believe it was sort of like the help quarters to a bigger house up on the hill. And because it was in the forest, it's very lush there. There's no street lights. Like, there's a gravel road, dirt road to get there. I remember going to visit to see his place for the first time. He just moved in not too long ago. And one of the first things he showed me when I went into his little tiny cottage, because it was literally a door, a living room, a kitchen, and a bedroom, and a bathroom. It was very small. He opened up this History of Larkspur book, and he flipped to this page of his cottage in black and white with like a woman, like a maid, and her two children. I just remember there are a couple kids in it. So this particular establishment had been there probably early 1900s at least, or even earlier than that, maybe late 1800s. But you could tell it had a lot of juju. So we went out to dinner, hung out, and it got too late. I lived down in Santa Clara, so I was just gonna stay the night. And long story short, we were just kind of settling to go to bed, and all of a sudden, it sounded like somebody was taking a 2x4 and just slapping it against the side of this cottage. And I'm like, what is that? Because he's a dude, he didn't have any window coverings. So if you turn the light on, whatever was outside could see in.
Like curtains?
No curtains. Yeah, no curtains.
So basically you were like in a fishbowl,
Yeah,
essentially.
it felt like a fishbowl in the middle of the woods.
Okay.
And the moment we turned the lights on, it stopped. And I said to him, I'm like, do you have some really, some friends that are playing tricks on you? This doesn't feel cool at all. He's like, no. So we turned the lights off. and try to go back to sleep. And it starts again, this really loud thwapping across this, the side of the cottage. And I am freaking out at this point because I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is not cool. And he turns the lights on. I grab the phone. I literally have a 9 and a 1 because I don't know. I was just scared. And he goes outside and he's like looking around the house, and I have this phone in my hand like I'm about to call the police because I don't know what I would say. But
and how far are you from like the main road?
The main road's like, you're in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, okay.
Like, you had to take a dirt road to get to this cottage, and I think
You're
there's
far.
I think there's a bigger house up the hill or something.
Yeah.
But you couldn't see anything. Like, I unless you had a flashlight to get to your car.
It was pitch black.
Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah.
So, he circles his little cottage, and nothing's out there. He's like, I don't know what that is. But we try to go back to sleep, and long story short, this happens progressively, and it's getting louder and louder throughout the night. That I remember laying on the bed thinking, if this is it for me, like it was the first time I ever thought that I might die, that I've lived a fulfilled life and I'm okay with it. It was
Wow.
a really it was a thought I'd never had in my entire life, just the possibility that this might be it for me.
Were there any other noises coming from the woods? Any like wood knocks or anything? It was all in the house.
It was all on the house. Like, all this energy was just being placed into the house, and it was shaking.
And I'm not saying that it's a Sasquatch, but that is a very common Sasquatch behavior, is hitting the side of the houses
Really?
and stuff like
I
that.
never made that connection that it could have been a Sasquatch.
And every time that side of the house got hit, you all turned the lights on. Therefore, the fishbowl got turned on. Then you turn the lights off, start hitting again, because you're the entertainment for the night. You know what I mean? And I don't know if there's a sinister idea of like wanting you to come outside in order to do that. And again, I'm not saying at all that it is Sasquatch, but what I'm saying is that slapping on the houses is a very common, like extremely common Sasquatch
I've
endeavor.
never made that connection.
And the fact that you have no curtains on the windows, and then all of a sudden all the lights come on, man, you're entertainment for the entire night. You're their TV show. You're the TV show.
And this particular friend of mine had a really good sense of humor, and I could tell the moment it flipped where he got scared because he went to his dresser.
Did they happen in different places, or was it always in the same place?
It was such a tiny cottage, and it was so loud the entire structure shook. So it was kind of hard to tell where it was coming
where it
from.
was actually going.
Wow.
So did he go to get a gun or something?
No, we didn't have a gun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I think that would have scared me more if he had one. But he had completely flipped a switch, and he went to his dresser, and I'm like, you're changing your outfit right now? What are you doing? Like, I'm like, what is wrong with you? He pulled out a shirt, and I feel like I can't remember exactly what it said, but it had some sort of like protection Superman type reference, and he turned around and he's like, I'll protect you. Like, he was just being funny because at that point, like, there was nothing funny about the situation. I'm like, haha, but what is this? Like, should we call the police? But the problem is, like, I think we didn't, because every time we turned the lights on, it stopped. So what were we gonna do? Like, draw this attention to them, have them come inside the house, turn the lights off, and wait for it to I don't know. It just sounded crazy.
And they're not going to believe you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like a waste of resources.
Yeah.
Without us having eyes on whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I'll wrap this up by saying, like, we were so scared, earmuffs, Bodhi, that this was just a friend of mine. We ended up making out, and that it just stopped. It all stopped. And
Yes, there is.
and
I was honestly not expecting it to go there.
the moment
Meanwhile, homeboy's like, it works.
Yeah. All right, guys, you can go home now. Thank you.
no, right.
Wow.
No. But honestly, the minute the sun started coming up, I was like, see ya! I like jumped into my car, and I just left. And I remember calling like a couple of days later being like, what was that? He goes, it was a bunny. I go, that was not a bunny. He's like, I have to live here. It was a bunny in the bungalow.
Yeah.
And we just never talked about it. But he had a girlfriend not too long after that.
Hey, yo.
And so he did tell me that, he had left for work and she was still in bed and she had seen something cross the threshold of the door and she thought it was him. He was still home, but she realized he'd already left. So there was definitely something there.
Energy.
And that wasn't jiving with me, or maybe it was, or I don't know.
Was it the threshold of the outside door? Meaning
inside.
Like,
There's
inside.
a threshold on the inside. So he moved, I think, not too long after that. But that was like the scariest.
Good call.
The scariest thing I'd ever experienced paranormal wise that I still can't explain. I still don't understand what happened. It was a very pissed off spirit, or maybe it was trying to get us together. Who knows? But
didn't work. I mean, it did for a minute.
I mean,
that was probably your most terrifying makeout session.
Yeah,
that ever
I think it was kind of like coming from a place of like, you know what it was? It was generating a feeling of like, of love.
Bodhi's losing
and
it.
caring. It was generating a feeling of love because we were so scared that like we just like fell into each other.
Oh, it's trauma bonding, It
was trauma bonding.
Like how Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves get together at the end of Speed, know? Zach is so thrilled about this story. For him, his smile turned into a frown. When
Florence Nightingale effect.
What? What do you mean?
Florence Nightingale effect.
What's that?
When trauma brings the bond.
Oh.
Yeah. Trauma brings all the boys to the yard.
What do you think about all three of these stories that we've shared, Bodhi?
I think they're definitely worth listening to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And your story as well. Like, there are always reports of kids being more in tune with the spirit world.
Well, he
versus
definitely
adults.
was connected to my dad right after he passed away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bodhi would be sitting at the kitchen table and he'd be like, ha ha ha, man tickling me, ha ha. I'm like, who's tickling you?
He's like, man dressed like Santa Claus with belly dancing sash on. And you're like, wait, what?
You're adding.
I'm adding.
Well, for people that don't know, my dad used to belly dance, and he also used to wear a Santa costume, and he would belly dance down the stairs. We had a very
during the holidays.
Yes,
it wasn't like
not-
you just wore Santa.
Christmas in July or something.
Yeah.
No, those are, honestly, I didn't think we were going to have three always a potential Sasquatch story, and then one, not quite a shadow person, just a spirit type of thing.
Yeah.
They were in black and white. It's almost like it's almost a shadow person, like they were almost there. Maybe, it's funny, if either one of you saw that person, they would have been a complete shadow person, but then Bodhi could see it, they were still had some definition, some contrast to them. That's an interesting possibility.
Yeah, I think there's a piece to this too, which we didn't add in. We have very close parental, either direct parental bloodline, people that have passed away, or step parents that have passed away. That always, I never got the opportunity to see Bodhi or meet Bodhi. So it was like, I think that was a moment where, to me, I take it as it was a moment where someone wanted to see him and visit with him that didn't get a chance to.
Yeah.
Because he's such a rad kid.
I think that's cool.
Getting to share these stories, and you're not going to have bad dreams, right? Because we're recording this like in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Mom's encounter could be pretty scary. Mine was pretty terrifying. Your dad seemed like it was pretty,
Mine was
chill.
gentle. Yeah.
It was more gentle.
Because nothing happened, right? You just heard a rustling in the bushes?
No, the sound went out.
Oh, right. The sound thing.
Yeah, the whole the Oz effect and everything. But then it came back probably when it left. It might have just come back at that point.
It did, and I heard the rustling again.
Yeah.
Of the babbling brook.
I not grew up, but I have very distinct moments where I could feel something in the room and being very scared of it, and just putting the sheets up to over my head and thinking just like, please leave me alone, go away.
Have either of you ever had sleep paralysis at all?
I
okay,
have.
You have.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had night terrors.
It's
though.
when your brain wakes up but your body's still asleep, so
Right.
you can't move but you are awake.
Because when you're in REM, Bodhi, your body shuts down, so you can't basically start acting out your dreams and hitting things. But sometimes your brain will wake up, but your body hasn't caught up to that yet. It's sometimes in the past referred to the old hag syndrome, because a lot of times you'll wake up and your mind still might be firing the dream, so you see shadows moving around and stuff, but other people think other things. So you've had sleep paralysis before.
Yeah, but I haven't
But
had...
you didn't see the shadow people when you woke up?
No, it's like usually when I'm going to bed and I hear creaking in the floor. Like I've been in one of my old places, had a creak that if you stepped on it, it would creak, but like nobody was in my room.
Right.
I was going to bed.
And that one creak went down.
Yeah, it was like creaking and I could feel
the presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you have night terrors, which are different.
Yeah.
That just comes from trauma.
That comes from...
And we know, anyone who listens to Pad knows what that all is.
Right.
But
Exactly.
Bodhi talks about how he always feels like someone's watching him at nighttime.
Even now, or has it gone away?
Even now.
Okay.
And I said one of the things about that is that you actually have quite a bit of control over who's in your space. So if you feel like someone's lurking, you could just say, please go away.
Yeah.
Like, please don't bother me right now.
Hey, lurker, take a hike.
Yeah. So it's just even thinking it in your head, or you can say it out loud, but setting that intention of like, I want my space right now, please leave.
Yeah. There's true.
That's all you have to
kind
do.
of tried and true method. Start with that. Start by just asking, can you just give me my space, please? I respect you. Can you respect me?
Yeah.
And see if that changes anything. I think a
Have
lot
you
of
tried that
times that
before?
helps.
Yeah.
And do you feel like it works?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that's good.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Kristen, if people are listening to this on the Podcasting After Dark feed, where can they find you talk about paranormal stuff? And I was on your podcast
Yeah,
too,
you
talking
were.
about something a bit scarier.
What episode was that?
I
think
think
it's
the
like
third.
third- yeah, like the third.
I talked about my my gremlin, my
Yeah, you did.
my DMT
Yeah.
realm gremlin encounter.
We're definitely casual about when and what we record, but if you want to find more content, we're on YouTube under Hey Boo, a Witch's channel, and we're also on Spotify, Hey Boo, a Witch's podcast.
And I'll put the links in the show notes and everything like that. So definitely go check that out. Like I said, you can check me out talking about my my experience. And, maybe next time I'm in town, we'll do another one of these because I still have more stories. I don't know if Zach does.
Oh, yeah. I've got stories.
Sounds like Bodhi has some more stories still.
I've got some Area 51 stories I'm happy to share.
Cool. I've got a UFO story too. That's the one I thought I was going to tell, but when you did Sasquatch one, I was like, I'll just tell mine then.
It's the way we roll.
That's right. So this was fun. This was a lot of fun. I love paranormal stuff, so maybe we'll do it again. And Bodhi, as always,
We'll catch you on the dark side.
Be sure to subscribe to Podcasting After Dark on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. You can support the show by joining our Patreon page, picking up a t-shirt from our merch store, or leaving us a 5-star review. Follow us on Instagram at Podcasting After Dark. All links can be found on our website at www.podcastingafterdark.com. And join us next time for another cult movie or TV show review with Corey Stevenson and Zach Schaefer.